Love you.
Did I leave my phone in here? Or is it a phone?
I have no idea.
I'll find it.
I love you.
Love you too.
Okay. All right. Let me. Haha. Check and make sure. Is that the right music? Yes. And now I have to reshare. Let's see if I'm closer. Is it better? Ish. Yeah, they changed the layout, and it's kind of a pain to get two things in a way now. Hey Luna. Hey James. I am back. I have to reshare the things on the thing, so. Every single time, Facebook takes forever. Twitter. Mazu, hey, how you doing? What's up? Of course, I'm not going to be able to. Okay, good. All right. Cool beans. And now I have to go. I'm doing good. I'm getting back into it. Yay, I can turn the camera off. I'm so glad. Oh, cool. It's cool to see you here from TickTock. Maybe we'll call you Goddess on here. Haha, I like that. That's kind of a cool idea. What are we doing today? Well, I just did a live stream where I was talking about, you know, all of the crazy that's going on in the US right now. But I'm just like restarting live streaming on YouTube, so I'm getting back into the flow of things. Basically, it is what's happening. Okay. You can be open. I'm pretty open about topics. Yeah, it's not me not wanting to be open. I am trying to reacclimate to streaming on YouTube. Okay, so let me re-find that article I was reading in the last stream. I don't think I've ever had to switch channels like that before. Okay. I have like 50 tabs. Okay, so we have, I'll put all the links to this live stream in the description. I have to do that later though. And it's on the part 1 of this stream. also. Turn off, because I don't feel like having the camera on. Oh wait, I totally forgot. I have to remember how to do this. Shoot. Hey, Curious Collective, how you doing? Hey, Josh. Haha, I can have guests up in the box. It is awesome. It's good being back on StreamYard. Okay. So, this is an article from Guttmacher Institute. Inequality in in U.S. abortion rights and access. The end of Roe is deepening existing divides. That is very true. Okay. Anti-abortion policymakers in the U.S. have continually crafted legal restrictions to ensure that abortion care is burdensome or impossible to obtain. This strategy has led to more than 1,300 abortion restrictions having been enacted since Roe v. Wade was decided in 1973, and is layered on top of failures of the healthcare and economic systems to provide Black, Indigenous, and Latino communities and communities living with low incomes access to high quality, affordable healthcare and safe and sustainable communities. All right, I'm gonna go kick the cat out of this room. I'll be right back. Bye. I completely forgot to do all of the things I normally do before a live stream. All right, so thus, while abortion bans and other legal restrictions harm all people who are or may become pregnant, they cause even greater harm to those already subject to systemic racism and economic injustice. An already bad situation has become far worse. In the half year since the U.S. Supreme Court eliminated the constitutional right to abortion established by Roe, many states have responded by banning the provision of abortion care at some point in pregnancy or altogether. As of January 12, 2023, abortion is banned in 12 states, with very little exceptions, and is unavailable in an additional 2 states. Further, in the first 100 days since Roe was overturned, at least 66 clinics in 15 states stopped providing abortion care, many closing down altogether. That means 29% of the total U.S. population of women of reproductive age are living in states where abortion is either unavailable or severely restricted, and more than 10,000 people were unable to access abortion care at a facility in just the first 2 months after the decision. Half of the states are certain or likely to eventually enact abortion bans now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned. All right, so Roe affects more than just abortion. Keep that in mind, all right? Understand that this will affect the right to medical privacy. But even more than that, the government can come in and determine what kind of medical care you get to have. But also, they can decide to scrutinize what you receive in the mail. And they are pushing to do way more than that. Roe actually kind of limited the government and what the government could do in our private lives by quite a lot. So let's say somehow you contracted an STI. Doesn't matter how. There's the potential that the government could decide, this has happened before, by the way. This is historical fact. They could decide that you have an STI, so they are going to arrest you and detain you in a facility to forcefully give you treatments which may or may not work, which may or may not be toxic and or hazardous to your health, with no due process. This is important. With no due process. So there's no judge, there's nothing. No bonding out. You're stuck. This happened before. That's going to be another live stream. I'm going to deep dive on that. Yes, that is part of American history. The right has been committing crimes against humanity for years. Yeah. They would sterilize. Yes. I mean, that has happened throughout the history of the US in a bunch of different ways, but there's a period of time up until the 1950s, I do believe, where if you were suspected, if you're a woman and you were suspected of having an STI, you could be held in an asylum. Restriction of reproductive rights and how horrible the health care system to all genders is historically connected. They only wanted certain people to have health care. Yeah, well, and education. Healthcare, education, I mean, access to clean water, decent food. Yes. Okay, so this is a really good article. I do recommend reading it. It's from Guttmacher Institute. It's called Inequity in U.S. Abortion Rights and Access. The end of row is deepening existing divides. And this goes very much into how this is going to affect minority women. You know, anyone who is from a marginalized group is going to hit really friggin' hard. Here's an article from The Hill. Does America have a problem with women? Really, it should be titled, Does America Hate Women at this point? Okay, this is a decent article as well. So I will put all of the articles that I have done, that I've pulled for this live stream in the description for this one. Yeah, you're correct. So let's go forward. When I said that Roe kind of was a barrier for a lot of things pertaining to government overreach into our private lives, all right? Let's talk about drag shows, because they are trying to destroy drag shows. Now, if you look at the history of this country, you will see that as soon as movies became a thing, drag was happening in movies. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Ronald Reagan was in a movie that had, it was drag. It was a drag movie to help fund World War II. But we'll just ignore that, y'all. We don't need to talk about that. All right. Laws restricting drag shows should scare everyone who believes in free expression. Yes, they should. Yes, indeed. A wave of bills quote, a wave of bills restricting free expression is building in state legislatures at this time. The target is drag performances. In the first weeks of the current legislative session, legislators in 8 states have introduced legislation aiming to restrict or censor drag shows. A total of 14 bills have been introduced across Arizona, Arkansas, Missouri, Nebraska, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and West Virginia. Other bills appear to be being drafted in Montana and Idaho. I do believe Florida's in there as well, and there are so many states that I'm losing track. All right. This introduction of anti-drag legislation dovetails with a rise in political rhetoric about drag performances and drag queen story hours in public libraries in numerous states, and a growing number of recent protests at drag events, some of which have turned violent. It's not just in libraries; it's other private locations. In fact, here in Royal Oak, apparently there are going to be people protesting a drag show story hour. Many of them don't even live there. They're coming in from elsewhere because they can't mind their own business. All right. The focus of these anti-drag bills varies from state to state, but shares some common provisions. Most define a drag performer as someone performing while using dress, makeup, and mannerisms associated with a gender other than the one assigned to them at birth. 9 include lip syncing within their definitions, and most specify that the person must be performing for an audience. 10 of these bills seek to expand the definition of adult or sexually oriented businesses to include any establishment that hosts drag performances, which would make it illegal for such businesses to be located within a certain distance from public schools or residential areas. In Texas, at least 4 different bills would put venues that host drag performances in the same category as adult movie theaters and strip clubs. 6 of these bills also explicitly ban minors from viewing or participating in drag performances. A South Carolina bill would make it a felony to allow a minor to view a drag performance. A Nebraska bill would make it illegal to attend a drag performance until the age of 19. Other bills would implicitly ban minors from reclassifying drag shows as adult or sexually oriented. 4 bills explicitly ban drag performances at schools or public libraries, and then a drafted Montana bill would introduce a $5,000 fine to any school, library, or employee of a school or library who is found to be in violation of the law. And in Arizona, it would be illegal to hold a drag performance within a quarter mile of a school or a playground. Oh, all right. So, but here's my question. Where does that end? What about Shakespeare? What about movies? What about concerts? Are they going to arrest, Miley Cyrus if she gets up on stage and she's wearing a suit? Like, how far is this going to go? If you are a man and you wear a pink polo shirt, do you get arrested? I guarantee you, every single male musician that you like wears makeup on stage, for any public engagements. If you see them out and about in public, they probably got some makeup on. Yep. So are they going to be arrested? How about, a woman if she wears combat boots and camo pants? Like, where does this end is my question. Talk about overreach of the government. This is what is called a slippery slope, by the way. We need our LGBT community and other allies to continue to come out in force and show these bigots that behavior is no longer tolerated. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, we do. I have a question. Does this mean the actual kids who do makeup and dancing, because you know it's all for protecting the kids, right? Yeah, I mean, I have so many questions. Like, where does this end? Pretty much. Like, those laws have very scary, vague wording. I mean, yes, very much so. So what about Chicago? The play, you know, the stage performance, Chicago. What about Phantom of the Opera? How about ballet? All the men on the stage in ballet are wearing makeup. Like, I have a question. Does this mean the actual kids who do makeup dancing? Oh wait, okay, I read that one. I do believe. What about folk who don't? I mean, that is a valid question. That is a valid question right there. Everyone's supposed to fit into a perfect box, a perfect mold, right? But what if you don't? What if you're intersexual? What gender were you at birth? If you're intersexual, how do you have access to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness if you are intersexual and there are all these draconian laws saying that you have to dress the way someone else tells you to dress? But, you know, the same goes for trans people. So let us continue. So there's a lot going on against drag queens, drag shows. Drag kings are, you know, included in that too. Hello. Why is this article not okay? Yeah.
How many bigger patties do you want?
Yes. Governor Bill Lee sparks national backlash after signing drag bill ban on gender care for minors. This is from the Tennessean. So they want to ban gender-affirming healthcare for transgender children. And also, you know, ban drag queens and kings. Here's the thing though, gender-affirming care, like puberty blockers. If you have a child who has precocious puberty, and they start puberty way early, they're like 6 years old, puberty blockers help them to allow their body to develop naturally. And then when puberty comes, they stop taking them, and then they just progress. They continue with puberty. So are we going to be blocking access to that medical care for those children? Or is it just trans children? So this is what's called testing the waters and seeing what they can get away with. And they are targeting a small minority group of people to do this. Because after this, they can further attack the LGBTQ plus community at large. You know, for anything they want, really. Okay. This is also a really good article. I'm not going to read too much of each of these articles because, you know, I don't want to take away from them. But, quote, the bill specifically protects children from, hold on, let me back this up. It jumped on me. During a news conference on February 27th outside a Henderson Elementary School, Lee was asked if he could point to a specific instance that would merit enacting these restrictions. I think the concern is right there in that building, Lee said. Children that are potentially exposed to sexualized entertainment, to obscenity, and we need to make sure that they are not. Lee was asked to answer for the 1977 Williamson County High School yearbook photo, wherein this person was in drag, by the way. He said it was ridiculous to conflate the two. Spokesperson Jade Byers later added to Lee's statement, the bill specifically protects children from obscene, sexualized entertainment, and any attempt to conflate this serious issue with lighthearted school traditions is dishonest and disrespectful to Tennessee families, Byers said. Okay, but can we talk for a minute about mass shootings in the U.S. in schools? What is more dangerous, a transgendered child or someone coming into the school with a gun? I'm just saying. Josh C. Opinions and Discussions says, I feel for my LGBT plus brothers, sisters, and non-conforming people right now. It's not much better in the UK, but I know it's a lot harder in the US. It's something here. It's pretty scary. All right, let's go over here. So when it comes to women's rights, there has been a global backlash, and there will be links to a couple articles concerning that. The UN is calling the US out for all of this, so that's good. Human rights campaigns are trying to help with women's rights and all of the anti-LGBTQ plus rights, you know, all the bills and stuff. You know, so that's good. At this point, last time I checked, I think it was over 450 bills against LGBTQ plus people, and I'm losing track of all of the bills against women's rights. But there's something that is just absolutely disgusting that we have to talk about. And I am trying to remember how to do a thing. Share screen. I think that was it. Okay. Window. Mississippi is trying to bring back Jim Crow laws. I highly recommend reading this article. It is AURN News with Ebony McMorris. Jim Crow laws coming back in Mississippi. This will be also in the description, this link. I don't know if y'all can read that. Let me know if you can read it. If not, I can always try to, hold on, let me see. Is that better? I don't remember how to make this screen larger, but, quote, lawmakers from majority white districts are proposing legislation that would significantly impact the majority Black population of Jackson, Mississippi. Without consulting their representatives, this is HB 1020, a plan that increases policing, strips voting and political power away from the majority of Black citizens in Jackson, and diverts tax dollars away from communities in need. It also would set up 2 different courts, basically. Caught taking their kids to Hooters. Yes. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Dave.
Would you like to show them tonight's food?
Maybe in a minute. I don't really feel like being on camera right now, though.
Garlic, butter, and Parmesan.
Yeah, thank you. Scary thing is that the U.S. is the world enforcer. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. So to have this, bringing back Jim Crow laws is not, I repeat, not the way that we should be going. This article is really fascinating. I do recommend it. This is from Human Rights First. Civil rights are backsliding. We need a third reconstruction. And complete. By the way, I would just add to that. Highly recommend this article. It's good. No, okay. All right, guys. All right. Hold on, I will be right back. I got bum rushed by both kitties. Oh my god, you're so heavy. Ooh. That is your junk. Hey, Marcus. All right, one got out and the other one hid under the bed. Hey, Hatter, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, and then this happened. They're trying to do this in Tennessee. That human being, somewhat, sort of, kind of, technically, in theory, supposedly this person is human, wants to bring back lynching legally in Tennessee. This is a really good article also. It's from Equal Justice Initiative. So I highly recommend reading these articles. There's way more out there. This was just a small selection. Okay, hold on. I have a chirping kitty. Gotcha. Okay. All right, so all of this is happening. This is from the Black Wall Street Times. Access is the new civil right. Right. Tennessee lawmaker attempts to bring back lynching. I mean, in the one photo I saw of the people who were in that room, I think I saw two people of color in that room. Two. During a criminal quote, during a criminal justice subcommittee in Tennessee, state representatives suggested bringing back lynching as a form of execution. State Tennessee Representative Dennis Powers R. introduced a bill earlier this year to the Criminal Justice Subcommittee that would give those sentenced to being unalived the option to choose between lethal injection or the electric chair. House Bill 1245 allows for a sentence of unaliving to be carried out by electrocution as an alternative to lethal injection, the bill reads. Rep. Powers debated last month that the state wanted to give those sentenced to being unalived another choice because of the problems that we've had in the state of Tennessee as it pertains to capital punishment. Power referenced in South Carolina's decision in 2021 to legalize unaliving by fire squad, even though that ruling has been temporarily overturned by the state Supreme Court. So yeah. All right. Alrighty. So this is just the beginning. This stream is kind of setting things up to go into more detail with things that have happened in the past. Right now, these politicians are trying to repeat history right now, and they're not joking, they're not playing. This isn't a game, this is real. And everyone needs to, quite literally, wake the fuck up. While people are making all of these videos and whatnot about drama, you know, bitching about, you know, someone who's supposedly reporting the news but is shitty at it, the world is falling apart. Well, more in reality, the US is falling apart. There are legislators who have proposed, like, for real, taking women's right to vote away, along with LGBTQ plus people and BIPOC people, anyone who's from a marginalized group. Your right to vote, gone. There have been other people who've talked about taking women's right to own property away. Do you have a car? Do you have a bank account, savings account? Do you have a credit card, debit card? In Texas, they want to make it to where you are given certain rewards for being married, but never divorced before. It has to be your first marriage, and you have children, and for, you know, after you have 4 children, you start getting a rebate on your property taxes. But when you have over 10 children, you don't have to pay property taxes. Pregnancy is dangerous for women. People with uteruses, pregnancy is dangerous. So if your, I guess, baby factory is unalived because they've been pumping out babies like once a year, well, apparently you're going to be able to marry a child and have as many children as you want. And this is not hyperbolic. This is what these people are talking about doing. This is what they've said. And I'm thinking that we should believe them. Yes, they are, actually. That is an awesome question. And so here's what you can do. Everyone has to step up. If there is a drag queen story hour that is being protested, and if you are a member of the queer community or an ally, you're going to have to prove you're an ally. We're going to have to go to all of them to help guard our family and the children who are attending the story hour, because these people don't care. They'll bring guns there to a drag queen story hour where children are present. They don't care. So, you know, there's that. Also, abortion clinics. There are abortion clinics that effectively have right-wing conservative people who set up concerts right next to the facility and all but block the path completely. Really? Tulane does that? Well, look at what Florida is doing. This, yet again, is going to be another live stream. Florida is trying to take over colleges right now. Death Santis is all about trying to take over colleges and limit what they can teach young people. Oh, tomorrow? I wish I was there. But beyond that, we have to start. Listen, you can put together a template email and you can email all of your representatives, local, state, and federal. You can do this every single day. I have several friends that are doing this right now. One of my girlfriends, literally, she brushes her teeth, she emails them. It's breakfast, it's lunch, it's dinner, they get an email. She is also calling them every day, and I'm actually going to start doing this too, every single day. They work for us. It's not the other way around, and they need to be put in their place. And there should be protests in every city across this country. Yes, so what happens when they criminalize having a uterus? I said this before, I said this so many times. What happens when they criminalize having a uterus? Women have miscarriages and don't even know that they were pregnant in the first place. Hell, they may not even know that they had a miscarriage. You can think, oh, it's just a really heavy period. Well, then you become a felon in some of these states. That's how they want it to be. There are so-called, in theory, representatives who want to make abortion of any kind. So that includes a miscarriage or ectopic pregnancy, right? They want to make abortion of any kind retroactively illegal. So then what happens? Think about it. You become a felon overnight. So then you can't vote. The Republican Party is terrified that they're going to lose power and control, because they are. And they're going to strip everyone's rights away to try to retain power and control. That's what abusive people do. And this is abuse. You saw Jill Biden today at work? Oh, right on. Doing work. Okay. Right on. They're in New Orleans? What? Adoption is a Vortex, right? They want to use us as baby factories. I mean, I'll talk about that. There's going to be at least 10 live streams just about all of this, okay? Make things illegal retroactively. Yeah, that's not suspicious. Yes. Yeah, like I don't even understand how that can even be a thing. But these people are whack jobs. There's no telling what they're capable of doing or how far they're gonna try to take this, because it's not their family that's gonna be suffering. It's not their family is gonna be worried about any of this. It's all the poor people. They're not. You are 1000% correct. I mean, before Roe fell, I was telling people Roe was going to fall because the Supreme Court has been stacked by Trump. It's going to fall. And people called me crazy. And I'm like, well, time will tell. Well, here we are. And here it is. Their misogyny is showing in full force. Well, these people think that they have every right to be in control over women. They think they have dominion over the whole earth. And in their like bizarre ideology, there's a hierarchy. There's God. There's your religious leader. Well, some of them have God, Jesus, then religious leader. The husband of the household. Then the wife. Sometimes, though, it's the oldest male son and then the wife. And then the children after that. So there's a hierarchy. Now, there's slightly different hierarchies depending on the branch that we're talking about. These people they call themselves Christians, but they are not following the path of Jesus. So it's kind of insulting that they call themselves Christians. It's insulting to people who actually are Christians, if that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna plug the headphones in, and maybe we can do a little bit of chatting. There's so many wires. Because I didn't want this live stream to be too long. Oh wow, there's music. Can y'all hear me all right? If anyone wants to jump up in the box, let me get the, haha, I remembered. Okay, I don't have Twitch up on, damn it. Cannot believe I did that. I don't know if Marcus is watching. Shit. As a pagan, I live a more Christian life than I mean, but these people are not real Christians. Christianity has been taken over by wolves in sheep's clothing. Let me turn that down a little bit. That's a bit loud. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't realize that was so loud. Okay. In their Bible, which was written by men, probably an acid trip. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were using magic mushrooms back then. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Hey, Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Is the music like loud for you, or?
I mean, it's alright for me.
Okay.
I don't know how it is for the people. It's alright for me.
All right, you're slightly muted, just so you know.
Wait, hang on. This may be my issue. Is that any better?
Slightly better, I think, for me. Oh, hey, Luna. All right. I can see you. You can take the camera off or keep it on or whatever you want to do. Hey, Luna.
Hello.
Hello. I'm hoping everyone can hear me okay.
Cultians, that's a good one. That's better than calling them what they are not, you know.
I mean, yeah, not wrong. It is a cult, and what is that thing? Behavior control, emotional control. There's a few others. Thought control.
I know what you're talking about. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's on mine as well, and I'm like, I can't think of it a bit. Behavior control, emotional control, thought control. What are the others? There's more. I know where I'm going with it, but there's more to that. But that is like, it's what people look for signs that you're in a cult.
Yeah.
Deprogramming.
The bite model. The bite model is really good.
Bite model. That's what it is. Behavior control, information control, thought control, and emotional control. There you go. I knew I'd get there.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what these people, their end goal is to force everyone.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, carry on.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you actually look at it, it literally is. They're trying to indoctrinate a cult with the actual American public because they're trying to control people's behaviors. So that's people's identities and things like that. They're trying to control the information that people get, like banning books, cancelling, trying to force drag shows out, all these things, thought control. That would be again things like removing your books and telling you how to think about certain individuals, about certain people, that everyone is evil except them. And then obviously the emotional control is like it all fits into all these Republicans are trying to create a cult with the American people.
Yeah, it's interesting that y'all brought that up, because I plan on doing a live stream talking about the bite model and this subject.
This is what happens to me when I'm half tired, because fighting with people on the internet gets tiring. The bite model just came into my head. Are you okay, Luna? You're very quiet.
She's
I'm good.
Just trying to make sure that I'm not over talking everybody.
No, it's fine. We're here to have a conversation. It's good. I'm low-key over here munching on some of Marcus's food he brought me. It's really good. I'm so hungry.
I'm so jealous.
Mm-mm.
So jealous.
So earlier today, Josh, you and I were talking about what's going on in the UK right now.
Yeah, there's our lovely government, which, by the way, our Prime Minister is biracial. Just want to point, and the reason why I'm pointing that out is because they want to enforce an illegal immigration law. So to ban people from coming in to the country from other countries, which, if I'm not mistaken, like our Prime Minister's wife owns businesses in a lot of other countries, and their main headquarters, I believe, is in Russia. So
that's not good.
Yeah, it's
The UK. How many Conservative Party Prime Ministers have y'all had in a row where
I lost
the
count.
has stepped down?
I know, right? Like, I lost count after Boris, because I'm just like, people just they're like, oh, I want to be Prime Minister. Basically, you want the pay packet. That's what you want. You don't actually want to help or do anything good with your positions of power. Oh, by the way, our government has also banned protests.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah. Our government has decided to ban protests. You can't speak on the government. You can't go out there and protest and speak the evil that they do.
I don't understand what? I mean,
it's like I know America's got like a lot of these really big bills being passed, like horrendous bills being passed, but and everyone's like, the UK's better, and I'm like, just try and live here and look at our laws and look at what they're trying to enforce, because they're trying to do it here as well. They're going after the LGBT community as well, so they're pretty much going exactly the same way.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, there's been so much happening here that it's hard to keep up with, and I've been trying to see what's going on with other countries as well, but it's overwhelming.
It is. It really is overwhelming. I mean, I fell down the rabbit hole of political TikTok, and oh boy, there is so much going on. It's very hard to keep tabs on what's going on where.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult. there was a whole trans protest in Scotland a few days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw it came up on my TikTok feed, and basically, as I say, our government's going exactly the same way. They're trying to. They're starting with the trans community. It's there's so much. There's just so much going on, and it's I'm one of you know me. I'm one of these people. I'm like, why can't other people just let other people live their lives? It's like whether you're part of any group, you should respect other people's groups. It's like I take I have my own personal issues with Christianity and like the teachings and some of the things and what's happening. However, I'm not going to go out there and like demand a Christian not be Christian anymore. That's their right to practice their religion. But in that same token, people need to let me practice my faith. But that's not what's happening.
Yeah,
If in the action of practicing your own beliefs, you are eliminating or restricting the rights of others, you are in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. I mean, I follow the path of Ma'at. I guess by their reasoning, I should start proselytizing and creating, community for my religion, and then I should enforce my beliefs on everyone else, right?
Right. I mean,
but you can't do that. It's not a Christian religion. That's wrong. And of course, that is sarcasm.
Well, I mean, the ancient Egyptian religion did kind of, in part, like inspire Christianity, like portions of it. So I don't know. It's insane, but I'm hoping that we can overcome this pushback against humanity evolving to something better for everyone. Like, I'm hoping for equality and equity for everyone,
Me too.
I just wish that the inevitable collapse of society as we know it wouldn't come before that, giving everybody equal rights.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's just because, if everyone has equality and equity, that doesn't mean that other people no longer have equality and equity. That's kind of the point. If everyone has an equal playing field to start with, right? And like, we don't have to be douchebags to each other, is what I'm saying.
Equal rights aren't like pie. Someone else getting more doesn't mean you're gonna be getting less.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. And I feel like a lot of what makes me not laugh about it, but like these politicians get so much money and funding and all this stuff, but they want more of the pie, so they're trying to squash out other people who want to be equal. And it's like you have a lot, you have enough. I mean, what did I say on TikTok today? Did you know that there was a ad in the Super Bowl? Not that I watched ads in the Super Bowl, but there was an ad in the Super Bowl to do with Jesus and Christianity. That costs.
I know the one you're talking about. He is enough or something like that.
I believe so. Yeah, and that cost them $20 million.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, and I don't know what they think they're going to do with like all these companies who are funding all of these negative things. Like if everyone is too broke to spend money in the economy because they have 10, 15 children, well then how are the companies going to make money? Because everyone's broke. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what it's saying. But I don't think they care because they've already made their billions in that company, and like, yeah,
I mean, they just
Yeah.
want cheap, extremely cheap labor. You know, doing away with child labor laws is, there's a reason we had those labor laws in place. There is a very good reason for those labor laws.
yeah.
I don't know. One of the streams I'm going to end up doing is about that, the child labor stuff. It's about power. Yes, it is. Power and control. Yes. Power and control. See, that's part of it. If, you know, one of the Dominionist documents that I read stated that if everyone is forced to be a Christian, then they're all forced to tithe.
Yeah.
And what if that is legislated? You have to tithe to your church. And you have to belong to a church that they choose for you.
Right.
That's not freedom. That's fascism.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it is. I saw something the other day about our UK government here, and like why people are like, why are the Tory party doing this when they're going to get elected, when they're up for re-election and all this stuff. And one of the great points was brought up that they are basically trying to control the public. They're destroying the economy here, so that when Labour get back in, Labour will rebuild it again, and then the Tory party will come straight back in to destroy it all again, to reap the money off what the Labour Party's rebuilt, and then basically capitalism. Capitalism at its finest. And what makes me laugh about, like, especially when it comes to like the US, is the Christian religion turns around and says that they're not for capitalism, you know, they're for helping people. And I'm like, no, you're just like every other organization, every other government. All you want is money and power. It's got nothing to do.
If you actually read the New Testament, Jesus was anti-big government. He was pro-universal health care. He associated with sex workers, with the undesirables of the society.
With lepers, you know, healed the sick and all that. I mean, well, I mean, they don't care about Jesus. They don't care about Jesus. If they did, they wouldn't be behaving the way they are. And that's what I mean when I say that, back in the, I think I have in my tabs, I have an article that talks about this. And I can't remember if it was in the 30s or 40s where it first began to pop up as a fringe group. These people who were basically trying to reinvent Christianity, and it all had to do with the ending of slavery, segregation, like desegregation, all of that. So it's in a way, it is their attempt to make the South rise again, with all that comes along with that. You know? Yeah. Fascism was way worse than fighting to destroy it. Yeah. We should put our jobs in. I mean, if we had a national mass strike of everyone who is against what they're trying to do, this country would shut the fuck down.
I'm waiting for the UK to do it, to be honest. We keep on having strikes on across all different sectors, and I'm just waiting for all of them to go on a national strike, because it's gearing up for that, and our government is scared of it.
Well, look what's happening in France, in Iran, in all over the place, and that needs to happen here, like in mass. But that I personally, it is my opinion that part of the reason Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was unalived was because he was trying to pull together a poor person's movement. Like, and just everyone. If you're poor, come on down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, this is where...
No, what we need is we need an actual socialist uprising, and we need to capture the means of production. We need to take it away from the super rich, and then any super rich who, try to hold on to that wealth, give them the option: blade, rope, or a 22.
Yeah, well, I don't see. I don't agree with European modes of governance. I think that indigenous ways of doing things should be brought back, because they're more conducive to the well-being of people, just in general, in many ways. And recently, there's a group of indigenous people that walked the Trail of Tears back to Georgia, and they're like, we're back and we want our land back. And they went to a city board meeting and presented a letter, and of course, the white people who are on this board were like, yeah, whatever, just ignored them and like left, the mayor and all that. And they were just incredibly rude to these people as they're reading this letter out, just walking out like whatever, la-di-da. They think people are joking. People are not joking. I'm to the point of, all of the different modes of European governance, they don't work. There always ends up being a pyramid of hierarchy, and the people at the top, if you look at communism, any of it, there always ends up being people who benefit from the suffering of people below, and it's time for that to end, all of it.
Right, yeah. So I'm also reading one of the comment underneath this one right here, and going off what you just said and this comment. So another thing I saw was like, why the governments do what they do, like, and basically a happy people, that basically they need us down, fear trodden, at our wit's end, because then we're not seeing the full picture. What was it? What did they say? A broken country is easier to control than a happy country.
Well, think about this. With cults, it has been proven that people who are heavily traumatized, malnourished, dehydrated, and exhausted because they have to work too much, right? So they're not getting enough sleep. Those people, and also uneducated, because we've been defunding schools for like 30 years now. Those people are easier to control. And if they're terrified every second of the day, hence we have all of these shootings going on, right? And all of the racism and everything else, then guess what? They're easier to control. And then that 1% gets more wealthy and more wealthy and more wealthy. And your rights are taken away little by little. Well, now they're amping up hard.
Yeah. It's all control, and see, this is where I have an issue, because I was raised to, like, whether it's in America or in the UK, I was always told that religion and things like that, basically, religion should be separate from state.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was told. That's what I believe. But looking at the US and the UK as well, that's not what's happened. Religion is trying to take hold in public affairs, which, guess what? See, this is why I wish people would do their history, because civil wars have been fought over this exact reason, and yet they're doing it again.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, with people don't understand that if these people have their way, every aspect of their lives will be controlled by someone that doesn't even know you and doesn't care about you at all.
The right doesn't care about that. The right does not care that when their hopes come to fruition, they will lose any semblance of rights they have now.
I think George Carlin said it the best. You think you're going to have a seat at the table, but if you're not a millionaire or a billionaire, no, you won't. You won't be invited. No, you won't. George Carlin, I wish he was alive right now. Like, we need people like that speaking up. But yeah.
It's fine.
And I've been wondering, where are all of the celebrities and whatnot? Like, where are they? Like, why aren't they speaking out right now? Because now's the time when they should be. Not, when Pride comes along and they want to make money.
Clout. They wouldn't get enough clout.
Well, I mean, RuPaul has spoken up, but I mean, they kind of have to.
Yeah. I think that while these celebrities, they don't want to rock the boat.
Well, they better.
They're too afraid to rock the boat, but they will use the LGBT community, for example, to, say, oh, I'm all inclusive, and yes, I'll fight for you. Well, guess what? This is a message to all celebrities. If you say that and you mean that, get up your ass and do something. Because right now, like, you can't. We are not tokens, so that you can go, oh, Pride once a month. Which, by the way, Pride isn't just in June. Pride is every month of the year.
It's every day.
It's every day. It's every week. It's every hour. Like, we don't just disappear after June. I just want companies and celebrities to know that we don't just vanish. I don't just turn it off.
Yep.
Maybe this year for Pride, it should be another riot.
It should be. It should be.
It really should. Because that's what Pride was founded on. Pride was founded on the riots.
Yeah.
But people forget that. People forget why there is a march in Pride. Like
Stonewall.
Yep.
A BIPOC trans woman.
Exactly. And don't get me started.
Well, actually, several. There were a bunch of trans women there. Trans women,
Right?
trans men. I mean, it was LGBTQ. Like, most people completely ignore Stormy. They don't even say her name. People really, really need to step up. And Pride cannot be a party anymore. It has to be a fight. Otherwise, we're going to lose all of our rights. All of them.
Exactly.
And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not going back in the closet. So
Yeah, I came out of that closet like, wait, I'm trying to work out 18 years ago. Yeah, I think about 18 years ago, if my math is right. So I ain't going back.
Death before detransition.
right.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's so the reason why European modes of governing don't work is because they're inspired by how ancient Rome ran things. Rome was a colonizer. Yes, indeed. Right there. Yes, and thank you. That is so true.
Hmm.
Everybody's afraid to say anything. God damn it, motherfucker. Listen, I will help you shine your spine up. And if you want, I will give you pointers on how to publicly humiliate dumbasses. I have no problem with that.
I just played around words against them. Like, say, you said this over here, but now you're saying this. That's interesting.
Yeah. You use their logic against them.
Mm-hmm.
They will get on the defensive. They will start acting like
Oh,
you're the bad guy, like you're on the attack. But no, I'm not attacking. I'm just simply using your logic. I'm using these vaguely written bills against the people who wrote them because of how vaguely they're written.
right. And they're written. I want people to understand that those bills are written vaguely, intentionally. Intentionally. They're written that way so that these people who enforce the law can be like, we're arresting you for this, and if you try and fight that, like, language is important, and they've written these so vaguely that they could just go and arrest anyone
Mm-hmm.
and
The
cite that bill.
Yep, especially with the call it as I see it of some of the anti-trans bills.
Yes, sometimes I really want to know people's thought process and people's logic behind when they decide to write these bills, when they decide to have these beliefs, when they decide to do these things or fight fucking crap on TikTok. I really want to know what thought process they have. And now I come to the conclusion there is no thought process. You're all in your feelings and you're all angry because you are losing a debate and you're losing your fight against what you think and you believe is pure. But by that definition, I have a different variation of what I define as pure to my soul. You know, sometimes I just want to know, and then other times I'm like, there is no logic here. There's none.
It's about hate for the other.
Well, I think it's also a lot of self-hate too.
Yeah.
One of the representatives, I can't remember which state now. I'd have to look it up. He introduces a bill to restrict LGBTQ plus rights, and I think it was also trans rights. And then, but he's caught liking and commenting on a young gay guy's Instagram, I think it was. Like, the guy makes the day sunny and rainbows and all this stuff. That dude's gay. He's in the friggin' closet and he's passing laws against himself. Your self-hate should not equal to my unaliving or loss of rights.
Right.
I mean, what in the... Listen, I'm almost of the opinion that we should start outing these people. And that takes a lot for me to say that.
It does.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We should so totally start outing these people. And you know, if Florida decides to, you know, make drag illegal totally retroactively, punish DeSantis. He did drag.
I mean, right? There are a bunch of them who did drag. Oh, but it was just a school thing. No, some of them were not in school when they did that ish, and it didn't look like they were playing around to me. Like which one? God, there were like 3 or 4 of them. They were fucking drag queens, all right? Like, they weren't playing. Or talk to them like a kindergarten teacher talks to a child. When it comes to boomers, soft parenting works on them for some reason, probably due to their traumatized inner child. Probably. You are
Yeah,
probably correct.
you're probably right there.
Curious Collective. We need to be mean, no more nice, no more kind approach. I mean, hey, grab out that big stick. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Things are going to get really interesting.
They are. They are.
Americans are not ready. Like, they're, and these whack jobs are like, oh, we want civil war. You don't even know what civil war
They
is.
don't want to they say they want it, but when it comes to it, they're gonna be cowering. They are gonna be scared. They are not gonna be on the front lines. They're gonna
No.
be in their houses.
Mm-hmm. Hiding.
I mean, it won't take them long to figure out that their cosplay garb for Rambo doesn't actually work. And the military, there was a comedian, it was so perfect. He's like a yearly event of, yearly Civil War with, these idiots. And they're like a whole bunch of them in a field on the one side. On the other side, there's a dude behind at a computer desk. He just pushes a button on a drone from a distance, and bam, they're wiped out. Like, their little ARs are not going to do a damn thing against a drone.
No, they're not. And it's, as I say, sometimes I try and understand people's thought process and why these things happen, and like, all I've got in my head now is like an actual game, and that actually happening. I'm just, that's all in my head now. Thank you.
Be aware of your local Proud Boy militias. They are literally everywhere. Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, I know. They're everywhere, and it's like, so what was it? Oh, these people, all like, it's all under the guise of, protecting people and stuff like that, and it's like, no, it's your hatred coming through. It's your hatred coming through because you are so scared that your people are going to end up just like us, and that scares the hell out of them. But these people will be the same people that, if they take everything away, like, or the help, or the medication, or the this, or the that, and one of their people tends to be a part of the LGBT community, and then they unalive themselves. What then? Like I'm giving you the most extreme example, but like,
What'll
then?
they do when the queer community starts self-unaliving instead of being captured, sent to camps, and executed that way? They're gonna say we weren't strong enough.
Or if we start fighting back.
But they're taking away education and things that are like, they're trying to basically strip the country of any education, any people that identify other than male or female, and that thing. But I'm like, when you have your people that are LGBT and they go and unalive themselves, like, these people you love and you care for, what are you going to do then? Because you as a politician and as a country have gone, no, this thing bad, but then turns out my people is also part of this thing. So
I don't think they would care. How many of them kick their loved ones out of their house because they're LGBTQ plus? I don't think they would care. I really don't. Hatter, you should be aware, or I'm just to advise you, not in New Orleans, but outside of New Orleans, they are there in droves, and in Mississippi, in Texas, and they will travel. They've already proven that. So, but they would be hella stupid to go up into New Orleans thinking they're going to be fine. Just saying. No, you won't. That's like here in Flint. People in Flint don't give a F. I mean, they will fuck a person up just for looking the wrong way. I mean, it's if under a certain circumstance. They cry about wanting a civil war, yet they do all the prepper crap and homestead alt-right pipeline junk with plans to run away at the first sight of trouble. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I find that funny, by the way.
They're all talk, no action.
Yeah, they don't understand. They think they understand, but they don't understand what civil war really is. The politicians on the right, maybe not all, but a majority will most likely promote, and some already are, these militias to cause, yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were created for. Purposefully.
Paramilitary groups.
Yep. That's why we've had all of the problems with people trying to disrupt power grids and all of that stuff. We are not victims in this day and age. People need to hear the darn truth, use words, share facts. Sow the seeds of chaos. Well, actually, we're sowing the seeds of order and justice and compassion. They are sowing the seeds of chaos. I mean, think about it. Chaos comes when you take people's rights away, because there will always be people who fight back. So there's always been resistance to fascism.
Wow, someone's left a novel. Sorry, I've just read my... Just now I do research. This is going to...
Yes. And then MTG wanting to officially label Antifa as a terrorist group. It's all funny. You dropped your red armband.
Antifa is the exact opposite. Like, the whole point of Antifa is to fight fascism.
Yeah.
What? These people, man. Like, they say way more than they intend to say, but most people don't pick up on it. Like, we gotta start picking up on it. Got to.
They're no longer saying the quiet part. They're no longer not saying the quiet parts. They're saying every part out loud.
I mean, fully and clearly. In New Orleans, one of my ex-coworkers is now working was in the state capitol, working security or so. I don't remember what they were doing now, but they overheard legislators talking about making abortion retroactively illegal. And any woman who's ever lived there and had a miscarriage or lost a pregnancy they would have a warrant out for their arrest. I was warned not to move back to New Orleans for that reason by her. And that person and their whole family, they're from Louisiana, born and raised. And they moved to another state. All of them collectively just moved, except for like 2 or 3 people. So people from Louisiana, when they're born there, usually a lot of the time, they don't move away. So for a whole family to be like, yeah, nah, we're good. Bye now. That's pretty big.
And then, the whole thing of a national divorce, say split the red from the blue. Maybe do that, but, give people in red states who aren't red, give them a chance to get into safe areas, or blue states.
That's part of what they want to happen, though. They want people who don't agree to move away so they can consolidate their power with a full Republican base. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to force people out purposefully.
And they're not even quiet. That's the thing. They're not quiet about it. This is all this is all in full view, people. It's all in full view. It's their
Yeah.
right.
The thing is, they would never be able to sustain a fully red nation if all of the blues were to become a different nation.
The whole divorce thing from Marjorie Taylor Greene was hilarious. I'm like, woman, do you understand who funds the red states? It's the blue states. California and what? Go ahead. Bye. Guess what? All the military bases, gone. All that equipment, gone. All the airports, gone. Like your power grids, bye.
Yeah. All the government would have to do is put thermite through engine blocks of the vehicles, and those vehicles are never going to run again.
I mean, they just have no clue how screwed they would be. They would be screwed. And it's sad for the poor people who would suffer the worst.
Yeah.
That would suck, especially minority people, any marginalized group. We'd have to figure out a way of getting them out. Like, I
label them as refugees. Label them as refugees. Give them the chance to get out. If the red states refuse, that's I believe those are crimes against humanity according to the UN.
Well, they don't care. They literally don't care about the UN, any of that. They don't care. There's no logic or reason. There's no empathy. There's no compassion or consideration for anyone else. There's none. So I
have a question about the UN. So the UN stands for
United Nations.
The United Nations. Okay. So like, why haven't the UN stepped in yet? Like,
because the U.S. is extremely powerful in the UN. That's why, and it would be hard for them to really do much. Yes, but you are underestimating the stubbornness of Michiganders.
Okay, and Hatter, California, with just a little bit of restructuring, could easily produce more than enough food for all the blues.
Yeah, here in the U.S., like if we restructured things, it would be way better.
I mean, the red states may be the breadbasket, but restructure the California agriculture, shift away from the more exotic produce of fruits, citrus, those things, to grains. The blues would more than be able to have enough.
Well, if we rethink how we do food in a more positive way, there are ways, and if we think about desalination plants or something because there's a gigantic ocean right there off California, right? If we do large hydroponic gardens that grow food year round in the colder states, I mean, we can rethink how we don't have to do things how they are done now. We can rethink in a more positive way how we do things,
Hell, self-sustaining communities inside of skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Set up gardens, community gardens in
everywhere.
Skyscrapers everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. If we start teaching people how to garden, how to take care of chickens and whatever, rabbits, whatever, right? If we use every available green space, like all these people who have green front yards, why is that even sitting there, front yard and backyard? Why not have a portion that's for kids to play, right? And then a portion that's gardening.
Why are there lawns? Those are a anti-communist sort of thing. the mindset with the whole thing, because I believe it was Levittown. The reason for lawns in the front of the house was because the thought was if a man has to spend his time tending to a garden, he won't be able to become a communist.
Wow. They're running out of water. Yeah, well, that's their problems with corruption with that too. There's one particular family that has steadily screwed California over with the water. Yeah, so we need to eat more native plants. Oh, bye, Luna.
Hi, Luna.
I don't know where she went. We need to eat more native plants, rebuild the environment they have destroyed. Yeah, this whole continent was like one big garden. There was food all over the place. But, you know, Europeans didn't recognize what had been done here through generations by indigenous peoples. And you can make flour from acorns, by the way. You can use hemp and bamboo for a whole bunch of things, construction materials and food and fuel. We don't really think about how we do things. We just steady go along with whatever. Oh, right on, Luna. It was good seeing you.
It was.
Okay, so it's been an hour and 30, so
It has.
I'm not going to be streaming every night, but I don't even know how many streams set up.
You have a lot.
Oh my God. It is a lot.
It is.
But I really think that these things are important and we need to talk about them and hash them out. The next stream I do is going to be like diving into history. The next few, actually, are going to be diving into histories that you might not have learned about in school, but you should have.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about some things and junk. We're gonna talk about American history and some history of other countries. We don't have to repeat history. We do not have to repeat. We can say no, and we can fight back.
That we can.
Yep. Oh boy, it's good to see all of you.
Yes.
It's nice to be. Yeah, it's nice to be streaming again. So yeah, hopefully we can get some traction going on here. Yeah. All right, food. Who wants to talk about food? Marcus made cheeseburgers with like garlic and I don't know what all, and it is ridiculously good.
I'm so jealous, damn it.
Oh my God, and I have one piece of cherry pie left.
No,
So,
I like cherry pie.
Yes, I'm gonna attack. Europe used to be just like Turtle Island one time before Romans took over. There were huge thick forests in some places in Europe. Yeah. Yep. Yes, indeed. Right on, Collective. It's good seeing you. You had taco on roti bread. That sounds good. Yeah, I'm kind of jonesing for a salad with like all of the cheeses on it.
But now that you mentioned cheeseburgers, that's all I want.
I mean,
I don't have any, but that's all I want.
Marcus can cook. Listen, this stuff is good.
Okay, I know it took Marcus like forever to get here, but can I borrow him for like cooking?
You want to borrow Marcus?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Wait, that can be taken so wrong. I meant for cooking people.
Oh, all right.
Cooking. Because I know how your minds work. I meant cooking.
Boy, man. He made it was a pot roast, like a pork pot roast with potatoes, carrots, all the stuff. Oh my god, man.
Wow.
When I tell you, I had like 3 bowls yesterday. I stuffed myself. It was so good.
Does he have like these recipes on hand? Just to ask. 'Cause I could try my luck at them.
He could probably walk you through it. Like doing a pot roast with a slow cooker is so easy. Like I've been watching him, and he just pops the stuff in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grilled
I've had.
cheese. Huh?
Hmm?
Grilled cheese with tomato soup. Ah, God, that sounds good. Right on.
Okay.
Arcology of expendable in Huh, that's interesting. Makes sense though.
Yes.
That's one thing I want to do. I want to this season I want to start a garden, and I want to plant like herbs and stuff. So that I can start making soap and lotion and stuff again, because I used to do that back in the day. It's funny you say that with the soap and all of that. But yeah, right on. Yeah, I'm gonna eat this and then probably crash because I'm tired.
Me too. I've been up for like over 24 hours. Wait, I woke up at 12 p.m. yesterday. 12 a.m. yesterday, and it's now almost 4:30 a.m. here in the UK. So
Wow.
it's 24 hours and 4 hours. I am tired.
Yeah. I was so irritated by everything that's going on. I couldn't sleep.
Same.
Love you too, James. It's good seeing you. I'm not sure if it will be tomorrow or the next day that I will live stream again, but I will, now that I have access back to StreamYard, I will schedule the live streams ahead of time and, do all of the things. I had so many technical difficulties today. It was a lot.
At least I have technical issues when I try and play music that isn't designed by StreamYard. And when I switch from watching something to go into that sound, it goes really loud. And for me, it's not loud, but for everybody else, it's loud. So I'm like, I like when I do my lives, I give up. I'm not going to put background music on anymore. Hey, Sheba.
See, I like using the music through StreamYard. Yeah, that's one thing I want to do is just basically have a rosemary bush. Just let it grow. You know what I mean? Like, and lavender. Man, lavender tea is really good. Lavender soap too. Lavender sugar cookies. I don't know if y'all have ever had lavender cookies or lavender sugar cookies. Yum. All right. So I'm gonna go ask Marcus. I think he works tomorrow. It's kind of hard for me to do a live stream when, baby girl is just running around. I like to do them when Marcus is home.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see. I might see when his next day off is. Let's see, today's Friday. I don't know. I'll see. I'll update y'all in the community tab or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. It was good seeing y'all. Josh, you want to hang out for a minute after, or no?
No, we can, if you want to.
All right. Not for long though. All right. Love y'all. Thank you for stopping by. Subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things. Josh has a channel, and if you click on his icon, it should take you right to it. I need to do like a Word doc with all of the things on there.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
I have a rosemary bush that's 10 years old, and they have fields of lavender. Yeah, there are fields of lavender over here during the summer. I might just go take cuttings and stuff, you know. All right, y'all. Bye, Major Tom. See you later. All right, see y'all later. Love you. Bye.
Bye.